Mariah, the radar blip goes off.
Mariah taps the screen.
Roll me a D100.
Okay.
You break the screen.
No. You're pretty sure the radar's still functioning.
She looks out the window.
Looking out the window, you'll have to probably... you see the forest ahead of you, but I'm assuming when you say look out the window, you turn the behemoth a little bit to look back the direction from where the explosion came from.
I think they probably are.
You see a trail up, unfortunately 5 miles out. You're not able to directly see just due to the light foresting blocking your line of sight. However, you do start to see a trail of smoke, of haze that hit the atmosphere as if a bunch of earth just popped up and displaced into the air. And it's about the same distance where you left those guys.
Mariah waits 2 minutes before proceeding to the location.
Okay. 2 minutes later, guys, Mariah returns with the behemoth. You didn't even have to turn on your scrambler. You killed him. You killed him in a period of 3 seconds. That's amazing. So typically what would happen, Criana, just so you know as far as this initiative goes, then it go just right back up at the top to you, right? And it would just be top to bottom until people are out of their attacks per melee. That's it, right?
Okay.
And you can do actions that take more than 1 or 2 attacks per melee. Like, say, for example, this is what you do quite a bit, right? I run over to him and slam my hammer against his head, right? Well, what if you're 60 feet away, right? Well, I'll combine that as 2 actions, right? I'll be like, okay, I'll take 1 action to get there and 1 action to hit with your hammer. So I'll knock off, 2 attacks, 2 of your attacks, and then you just resolve it right away, right? We don't have to wait till round 2 or round 3 to do it. So yeah, it's pretty handy. So yeah, we just keep going top to bottom until people run out of attacks. And then when everyone's run out of attacks, we start it over again.
Seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's very straightforward. So we're good. But congratulations, guys. Great job in killing that Howling Banshee.
We are really making this mercenary group look bad.
That was some really good rolls. Holy shit.
Yeah, you guys rolled very well. Yeah, you rolled very well. And it was a good plan. Plus, luck was on your side. So he died so fast. I love it. So fast. Okay.
I want to say something over the radio. Right after this all happens and everything, and the blood's all spurting out.
Sure, I guess you didn't activate the scrambler, so you open up a channel, just a free, non-encrypted channel, and say...
I'm just going to talk to the rest of the group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so, okay, you're using the group channel. Okay, all right, go ahead.
Using the group channel. I know it's morbid as fuck, but this is power armor. I mean... It, do you want to take it?
Oh, Patrick, you just one look at it, there is nothing salvageable. Maybe some internal components, but you can pick through it in the next 2 minutes and get everything that might still be in one piece in like the palm of your hand.
Yeah, he's going to need to take out his radio and beep back. I'd rather not go through bits of pieces of body to find bits of pieces of metal.
Nice.
Fair enough.
Al was thinking, hey, maybe more mega damage material, but yeah, it probably looks like it's completely trashed anyway, so...
yeah.
Al's just gonna wait for pickup, and actually no, Al's going to pat Lee on the shoulder and say, "It happens, man. Don't worry about it, man," because that's what people say in race. It happens.
Sure.
It happens. Don't worry about it.
Lee just gives a nod. He goes, "I'm more used to my spells, and it's really bright today,
Al will nod.
All right. So I'm going to go back into narration mode then, because I know what you're heading and everything like that. So you are picked up in the Behemoth, and you continue to make your way towards that large lake that you were able to identify thanks to Patrick's navigation software. You spend a good part, you spend the rest of the day and most of the next morning traveling towards that direction. With the exception of spotting a few beavers off on the side, a small stream in which you spot some beavers making a dam-like structure. You are not interrupted. No additional radar blips reach your sensor systems, and nothing dire affects your current adventure. However, soon by mid-morning, no, actually, I'd say closer to around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the light forest in which you are traveling through breaks until you actually reach... Give me a moment as I bring you on over. To a small change in the landscape. It appears stretching for miles and miles, running from east to west, is a stretch of old concrete highway. Upon the highway itself appears to be several writings, a multitude of them, of writings and designs, either painted or chalked into the surface. It's hard to tell from the vantage point of the Behemoth itself. It's running approximately the direction of the river you want to go to. The lake that you wish to travel to. Patrick, please roll me a D100. Actually, just give me a good old-fashioned anthropology skill, please.
Okay. Boop. And anthropology. Got it. There.
Okay. Succeed by 40. Very nice. So, you know that this is probably the remnants of an old pre-Rifts highway in which many vehicles would travel to and fro from city to city. The messages that were written on top, though, you're willing to guess because they wouldn't probably stand the weather periods for such a long time since it was believed that the rifts first showed up. You're willing to believe that these are relatively newer messages. You have heard of cultures sometimes using pre-rift structures, sometimes buildings, sometimes roadways, sometimes old signs or other permanent fixtures of the landscape to write messages to each other. It is believed by you, for the I shouldn't say what you believe. The people that you have read believe that before radio communication once again resurfaced into relative common use, most individuals of communities or travelers would use such things to write messages to each other. However, this new bit of landscape, this new blasted highway, is not the only new encounter you reach. Sure enough, the highway itself is clear, although overgrown, is clear of any sort of large foliage that would break your line of sight. And you can tell approximately 2 to 3 miles in the distance a fellow set of travelers. From the radar that you're picking up and your own visual identification, you are able to notice that it seems to be, this traveling party seems to consist of a Jeep, an ATV, a big boss, very similar to what Patrick has, about 6 or 7 horses, and about that many motorcycles as well, about a half dozen motorcycles. And they all seem to be traveling in the same direction that you are, which is east. Is there anything you like to do in particular, or shall I continue?
Oh, I'd definitely note this to the other people. I'm sure they would probably see that as well, but I would definitely note for anybody who's not around.
Okay, fair enough. Now, would you also explain to them the purpose of the writing or anything like that? Or are you talking more like, oh, hey, there's some guys up there? You know?
He would actually say something. Actually, I'm gonna roleplay this.
Sure.
Guys, I know this is not the time, and he actually will look over at Mariah. There you go. Look over at Mariah, and then sigh for a little bit and go, if it isn't too much of a bother, I would like to stop and take a few pictures so I can examine the road a bit more.
I don't see why not.
I don't think that would take very long, and a couple hours one way or the other won't really make a difference, as long as, I mean, we've got them off our trail, I hope.
Yeah, I would hope so too. We just need to make sure that we monitor the readouts.
Right.
But yeah, sure, take your time.
Mariah?
Yes.
Would it be okay to stop to take a few pictures?
Of course.
Good.
She blinks.
And I guess give a small suggestion of a place that might be good to settle down the behemoth to get things going. Unless there's another place you guys want to stop with the behemoth. Like right next to the road or just in the foliage.
Well, how long do you think it'll take?
Taking a few pictures, a few minutes, that action, but travel time might take a bit more, depending on how it's done.
No. Yeah, if you're just going to be out of the behemoth for a few minutes, we can just park wherever.
Yeah. Plus, we could also spend this time to either get the robot or, after you're done taking the pictures, repair the leg. Because that is going to need to happen.
Yes. Yeah. If we're going to do that, though, I would not want to park it in an open road.
Yeah.
As colorful as it is.
Right.
So I think somewhere off the side, try and hide it, sort of, in the foliage.
Well, yeah, why don't we go about it this way? Why don't we see if there's a good place to set the behemoth down in the area? If there is, then we take the pictures and we go ahead and just start repairs now. I know I was gone. How many hours is this since the ambush site?
It's been a day.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So we're far enough away from it. So if we can find a decent place to put the behemoth down now, I see no reason to make this the repair site beyond any other.
Yeah.
Okay. You're able to find a relatively good clearing with enough things in the way, enough trees and whatnot, enough features of the landscape in the way to block most lines of sight. However, as you start to navigate towards that area, there's an open on the radio, on the open channel. You hear a a feminine voice, a calm, collected voice over the radio, who says, "My goodness, I haven't seen one of those in quite a few years. Marvelous vessel. I don't suppose it'd be too much to ask if there's an actual scientist aboard."
Mariah will grab the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Are you speaking to us?
Yes, yes. It seems that we're your traveling companions, at least on the same stretch of road. And you can see about 2.5 miles ahead of you, the convoy that you spotted has stopped.
I don't think we're companions.
I see. You don't wish us any harm.
I don't believe so. Mariah actually just sounds confused now.
You just hear a bit of a laugh, and she says, "Well, that's better than yes. And we definitely don't mean to leave you, to give you any harm either. I just saw that you were operating a scientific robot, and I just had to ask. I didn't mean to disturb you at all. It's just, well, I guess I have a penchant for talking to strangers. It gets me into some trouble, but it gives some amazing stories as well. I didn't mean to bother you, though."
I don't think I should be talking to you. Mariah's gonna look at the radio and like look around and see if anyone else is nearby and like hand it to them, like reach out.
Patrick is definitely there, as
She's-
well as Pam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And she would be.
just shoves it over to you. Well, not really shoves it. She just looks at you, kind of just blank stare, like I don't think I should be talking.
All right. I guess Patrick will take it.
Mm-hmm.
He will bring up the radio to him. Hello?
Hello, a new voice.
Who may I be talking to?
Oh, my name is Aaron. Who am I talking to?
Patrick.
Well met, Patrick. I was just telling your companion there that we were very interested in the vehicle that you were piloting. It's been a few years since I saw one, and I was just curious to see if you were on a scientific expedition or you were just weary explorers like us.
I would say closer to the second one.
Oh, well, it's always nice to find kindred spirits on the road. I don't suppose it would be too much to ask that, well, I'll just say this perhaps and leave it up to you. We've been traveling for a good part of the day, and my old bones could definitely use a bit of a break. We're going to be stopping very soon, and if you happen to come on by and want to shake our hands and trade a few tales, then you are welcome to.
Well, I'll keep that in mind. I would say, to be cautionary, we have been recently attacked, and we're a bit on our heels. Would it be okay to I'm unsure how to put this, but maybe something to make sure that it's a safe encounter?
What would we do to make you feel safe?
I don't know. Maybe have somebody to meet in the middle to at least greet.
Very well. We shall dance the cautionary dance of two strangers meeting on a road. Although, before we do so, your statements do concern us. You said you were under attack. By whom?
It looks like a local raiding band.
I see. And
Do you know of a band that has a white symbol, kind of like a screaming skull of some kind?
she pauses for a moment, and you hear the radio channel click off. And it takes about a minute or two. And you hear her voice return along with a deeper, more masculine one that is added. But she replies with, "We're not familiar with that sort of iconography. in which the male voice says, "This is important not only to our safety, but your own, of course. When did you last engage with these individuals? And are they still in the area?"
I'm just going to scratch a bit. I would say maybe a day or two ago. Are they still in the area? There are some around, but I don't think that they are here.
How many people are there in your vessel?
Oh, let's see. 1, 2. I would say around 7.
Do you require assistance?
I, if you have a mechanic, we need some repairs.
We do have an operator, yes. I overheard you speaking with Aaron, and you're concerned about safety. My name, as Inferno looks at his notes, my name is Sir Winslow Thorpe, a cyber knight of Lord Kaoki. By my word, by my honor, you will not be harmed while you are in our company. I encourage you to meet with us so we may strategize and ensure that neither of us come across this bandit threat.
I forget his name, but I'm going to ask him if he knows the Cyber Knight from New Leslo.
Oh, Ashton Calabar.
Calabar.
Yeah. He goes, "Yes, I do know Lord Ashton quite well, actually. More by his reputation, but I have spoke with him on a few occasions. Good man."
Well, I guess we have about the same amount of encounter time with him.
And then you hear the female voice return with, "How about we speak more of this face to face? If you're comfortable with it, of course."
Yes. I will speak with my other companions and see how they feel about the situation, but I think we will probably do so.
Very well. And with that, the radio goes silent.
All right. And Thatcher's going to get up and ask Al and Tom to come into the discussion cockpit.
Discussion cockpit. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I guess no. I should probably have even the NPCs come in as well. They are equals, not non-NPCs.
And then I assume I would get there eventually.
Of course. Yeah, you guys can narrate yourselves. It's good.
You can move your own feet.
I take a breath.
So I'm going to assume, unless Inferno you say otherwise, everyone would be there.
Yes, everyone's
Okay.
there.
And then I would discuss what the meeting is and what I believe the people are that are ahead of us, which is I'm going to take them as a complete face value of what they said. And general all information, and I guess note that there is a cyber knight among them. I guess that would be stronger note.
Yeah. I think the only cyber knight I've ever encountered was Ashwin, and he's a man of his word, so I wouldn't mind talking with these people.
I already spoke with them. One. I spoke with one. I misspoke.
I see.
Is Al there? Did he vanish?
Al's
Wait.
Al's here. Hang on a
Hello.
second. I need some quick info from the GM though, as in, if this is if the,
I'm telling you right now. Don't worry. All that you know is what you know. Not what all your character knows is what I've told you. All right. Go by that information. There's been no indicators going. There's no lights flashing in your head right now in regards to matching up the voices or the names with
no,
anything.
it's nothing like that. It's the we'll do it later. Al says cautiously, okay, I'm for it. We could certainly use an repairs.
Yeah.
Great. So
Sorry, just really quickly. We just need to make sure that at least somebody stays behind on the behemoth, unfortunately.
Pamela will stay behind. She doesn't mind.
Okay.
Okie dokie. So, is it fair to say that you guys would pilot your behemoth close to where this little traveling group, this little convoy itself, the motorcycles and the horses and the Jeep and the ATV, they've all pulled off to a side of the concrete road itself. A small area that is flat enough for all the vehicles to go inside of a bit of a small protective ring and allow the horses to graze nearby. A very, very makeshift group of about 13 to 14 people. No, I'm going unspecific. 13 people exactly.
Right.
13 people start to mill around the vehicles themselves as they watch you approach. I'm assuming it'd be fair to say that you would park your behemoth near to their camp, but not enough to be too overbearing. And you would go out and meet these individuals, correct?
Yeah.
Great. All right. So let me describe a little bit more to you then. As you go out and move towards their camp, you're greeted and are mainly interact with three individuals. One individual seems to be, she is in light body armor. She is approximately 5'6" tall. She has she's completely bald, and she has small black smudges underneath her eyes. She has no helmet on her body armor, and you can tell that she is completely bald. The other individual is very tall, about 6'3", very strapping man in body armor as well, a much heavier body armor, and he still has his helmet on. But even through the peering glass itself, the viewfinder itself, you can tell that he has long black hair, very, very dark, super black. He is of Native American heritage, and he has very square, solid facial features. The third individual, the one who properly greets you, is a woman as well. She's wearing light body armor that's painted very simple, standard brown. She has a slender figure, but it's certainly not feeble or willowy. She is surprisingly, despite her voice sounding relatively young and warm, her face, she was probably a pretty attractive younger woman, but now she looks like she's pushing 60, with wrinkles collecting mostly around the sides of her mouth and the corners of her eyes. She is also still has her helmet on, but throughout the helmet you can see small glimmers of mostly gray hair that probably has a few strands of brunette is still peeking through. And she gives a warm smile, and the other two, the man and the bald woman, give polite smiles. And as the elder woman, who is this Erin that you talk to on the radio, as she introduces herself, you can tell that the man is, for lack of a better word, Al would recognize this. He's strategically eyeing you up, just to be safe. And after Erin is done with a general welcome and introductions are made, so you don't all have to say your names, you can. It's up to you as characters to give you your name to them or not. She would start the conversation with, Sir Thorpe here is very concerned about security matters, and I suppose I can't blame him. Why don't you come closer into our camp? We'll break bread, we'll have a little something to eat, and perhaps we can exchange with each other the threats that we've seen along the way. Does that seem reasonable to you?
Yeah.
Al would nod, and he'd probably also remove his helmet so that, if theirs are removed, it would make sense his is removed too. A trust thing.
Okay, all right. At your gesture of removing your helmet, she would remove hers as well. And so would... sorry. I guess since we just did a general introduction, the tall man is the Cyber Knight, Sir Winslow Thorpe, and the bald woman is Erin and Thorpe's guide, who clearly is a Psy Stalker. Her name is Delina. I would like... No, not yet. So she invites you over into your camp, and I guess let's just speak in general terms in regards to what you tell them about the Screaming Banshees, where they were, the whole shebang. Because Patrick mentioned on the radio we were recently under attack and everything like that. So what details do you share with these people?
I think it would be safe to tell them the details of what happened. Just leave out any details as to why it happened.
Okay. All right. So it was an ambush at the side of the road. And, sir... Yeah, sorry,
I was
ahead.
thinking of including the APC because that's an incredibly dangerous thing. Yeah.
Sorry, I guess there were two ambushes. It was their attempt at ambush that you saw through, and then your successful ambush.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. My bad.
No, I said ambush at the side of the road. That was pretty fucking generic on me, so don't worry about that. Anywho, they nod a little bit, and Sir Thorpe says, cunning tactics, but I'm glad you managed to make it out. All right. At this point, they... although they cannot guarantee a long service, they're comfortable with resting for a few hours and having the operator that is traveling with them to take a look at your behemoth and try to assist you as best they can. Once realizing that you have your own mega damage materials, the operator is pleased to volunteer her time in assisting in some repairs. If you allow it, I'll allow, for those 2 hours of time, 25 mega damage somewhere on the body, so on the legs, on the main body, divided up as you wish. But 25 total mega damage can be repaired onto the vehicle while you guys speak and talk. Okay?
Okay.
Burn,
do you remember how much we needed for the leg to be good?
the leg needs 15. So I'm thinking 20 on the leg and then 5 on the main body to round it up to an even 400.
Okay. I think that's a good idea. I might just put the 5 on the leg as well, because 395 or 400 won't make a much big of a difference, but 5 MDC on a leg that needs to be waterworthy might make a difference.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, just everything on the leg then.
Yeah, we can probably note that that one got hit the most, so it probably needs the most amount of work.
Yeah.
At this point, Aaron and Sir Thorpe and Delina share with you what they've seen the past few days, with the exception of some werewolves that they have scared off. Thankfully, they didn't get too close to their encampment to be any sort of threat. She thanks Delina. Delina packed some wolfsbane with her, and that apparently deterred them quite a bit. She knows, so they warn you that there is at least a pack. Sir Thorpe believes it's approximately about 10 werewolves are still probably roaming in this general area, although they haven't encountered them in the past few days. Aaron also mentions that a scarce 2 hours before she met upon you, they came across another individual who she has to admit was not nearly as personable as you find folks, nor nearly agreeable. In fact, we didn't able to exchange more than 2 words with the man. Very, very strange, very peculiar. He looked elderly, even older than me, if you can believe that. And Sir Thorpe thought he saw some glimmers of metallic something on his head. He was up in the trees simply staring at us. We called out to him a few times, and he just looked for a few minutes and then disappeared back into the woods. And he was heading in our general direction, although we believe he went south a ways first. Very peculiar. But some people want to talk, some people don't, and you have to learn to respect the difference, don't you think? I would like Al and Patrick to roll me a D100.
All right.
It isn't until now. Now, this requires a little bit of GM backstory in regards to who this individual is and what you characters would decide you would know or you would not know. Okay? There are how can I start with this? Okay. In any fantasy game, any fantasy settings, there are iconic individuals. For Dungeons & Dragons, for example, there's Drizzt Do'Urden, right? Where they are characters that are just very famous, very well known, and they permeate throughout the literature. For Rifts, one of those individuals is a woman named Erin Tarn. And I like her, personally, because she is not a great warrior. She's not a schemer. She's not an emperor. She's just a simple scholar who likes to explore and write things down and philosophize. Now, Erin Tarn has explored her entire life, and she's written those things down. And recently, in the past 2 years, so in 99 PA and we're at 101 PA, her letters and collections she published them in a small book just to share with amongst herself and her friends and some folks over at Laszlo, the town of Laszlo. However, other individuals have taken hold of this literature and they have spread it throughout a large section of North America, and it's continuing to spread. This, of course, has reached the Coalition. The coalition, the coalition's opinions on Erin Tarn's work is that they believe she believes it very much, but they also believe that what she believes are lies and falsehoods. She is a deluded, dangerous woman with deluded, dangerous ideas. And in fact, it is her writings which are one of the main motivations for their current censorship practices, and the fact that the government likes to regulate for the citizens that can read what they are exposed to. Because if they get in their heads all this foolishness that Erin Tarn is writing about, then that can be almost as dangerous as learning magic. That is the coalition perspective. Now, it is up to your characters whether how much they would know about Erin Tarn. How if they've just heard about her, they've never heard about her at all. If Patrick managed to actually pick up a copy of her book called Traversing the Modern World, right? If Al did get a report that she is one of the most wanted individuals of the coalition, I'll leave that up to you, because that's what makes it fun for you guys, right? Whether you want to recognize her and talk her ear off, or whether you think it's really neat or whatever, right? So laying that out there. But it's at this point, you don't recognize a person, especially a famous person that you've never met before. You don't recognize them off of a sound of a name and a voice, right? You have to engage with them. You have to talk with them a little bit. And over this initial talking period, for those of you who wish to recognize her, will now have an opportunity to do so.
All right.
Okay.
Groovy?
Yes.
So yes, you are
Yeah.
speaking with Erin Tarn, for those of you who know who the fuck Erin Tarn is.
I have one question, because this one might actually be something that would be in your purview. Al, would the coalition have ever allowed Al to see a copy of her work? Maybe as an example.
Never in a million fucking years.
Got it. So he's heard maybe that she believes lies and this and that, but he's never read her work.
Correct.
Okay.
Though Patrick is well read and things like that, he's actually not read her work. But the person who actually taught him majority of the things that he knows has preached her name fairly highly.
Okay. All right. Excellent. All right. So, would you like me to have her and Sir Thorpe continue the conversation, or do you guys have some questions?
First, Patrick would probably sit up and go, Aaron Thorpe?
She laughs a little bit, and she says, No. Sir Thorpe here is a trusted friend and traveling companion. I would exchange him for no other, but this young man can do much better than me when it comes to a wife. My goodness, Sir Patrick, you're going to make me blush, and that is hard for me to do. No, my last name is Tarn.
At that, Al will sit up, shocked or surprised.
With that shock and surprise, you see that Sir Thorpe also tenses a little bit, and noticing your reaction, she goes, I overspoke. Mr. Thorpe, ever since the release of my book, I've been advised by my friends to not divulge my full name for security purposes, for
That's
safety.
where I heard you from. The person who taught me talked about you quite a bit.
Yes. I know I'm probably not what you expected, but I am who I am.
Al would say a bit more quietly, the person who taught me talked about her a lot too.
Tom will sit there looking very confused and go,
What?
She kind of does what we do, but she actually, what was it? Publish your notes that you did?
Mm. Yes, they were published, and although I'm very glad that more people can, in one way, experience what I have experienced, that they learn and they gain knowledge, for that I am happy. However, how some of it is used, I am not so overjoyed. But for the most part, I suppose it is a positive yet unexpected effect. And I have to say, I'm not very used to all this. So please don't, just call me Aaron. She gives a warm smile. We are travelers on the road together, taking a small break, helping each other, learning from each other. That's all that's needed, don't you think?
It's fantastic.
Good. Good.
Alex
So.
looks reflective.
And she smiles and she says, so, on the understanding that personal business is personal business, for the sake of an open and casual dialogue, may I ask where you're going, where you're headed? You've mentioned before, it was Patrick, correct?
Yes, you always said.
Don't. She gives an not irritated, but like bemused a wave of her hand to lower your hand a little bit, and she says, "No, I've you mentioned that we were similar in a way, and I'm glad, very glad that we communicated with your vehicle. Your vessel there is not made for combat. Something woefully rare nowadays. That, if I'm not mistaken, is a vehicle for scientific pursuits and research. But I have to say that...
That's definitely what I hope for.
Good, good. So, now this is very dangerous, she says, and she has a stern look on her face. Because I'm afraid that we could just sit here and talk with each other until you are sick and tired of listening to my voice. But I don't think we'll divulge of that. Although I have to explain to you how happy and refreshing it is to see something like that.
Patrick will nod quite a bit.
So, I'm sorry. And she says, it's, I guess, a symptom of my age. I go off on tangents. Are you comfortable in explaining where you are, what you're up to, what adventures you've been having?
I could tell you about adventures, but what we're doing at the moment, and Patrick is going to look over to the rest.
Al
Go ahead.
quietly will say, he'll look at everyone else and say, actually, add a question of knowledge. Al would know this, I would hope, or at least, she is at least as wanted or more so wanted than Tom, or is she not considered as much of a threat?
It's been... How long has it been since you've been embedded with the Coalition? A year?
About a year, yeah.
So your data is rusty, but yeah, she's the #1 wanted person in the Coalition states. She's even more popular than Tom.
Al would carefully say, well, we don't have to worry about her running off to the Coalition anytime soon, if that's what we're worried about.
She gives a bit of a...
Mariah turns and looks at Al.
Tom is
Like, slowly her whole body just turning and staring at him.
Al actually looks like he's not, like, he almost said this without thinking, like he's not looking at anyone.
Tom is staring daggers into Al right now.
Al will notice everyone staring at him and he'll say, she's their most wanted criminal.
She does not look happy, but she nods.
And he would look at her and say, my apologies, I'm just... No offense to you.
None taken, although she is, well, not interrupted, but soon after she says none taken, Sir Thorpe says, what you just said worries us. It is one thing to recognize Miss Tarn. It's another thing to acknowledge her wanted status.
Patrick's gonna look back.
Are
at
you
Al.
individuals of your word?
Al will look and say, well, I suppose one mistake breeds another. I was so caught off guard that I spoke without thinking as well. We are not friends of the Coalition either.
He gives a bit of a nod. But it's another searching look as Aaron gives Sir Thorpe's arm a bit of a pat. What is said, and it cannot be changed. We are not in Coalition territory, and we haven't seen them for quite some time, thankfully, and if things continue to go for plan, we'll be far out of the reach of them soon enough. She gives a bit of a smile. So, please, how about, since you are neither friends of the Coalition, and I will only wax and wane of what the Coalition could have become, let us leave that topic aside for now. Let's speak of better things. What do you say?
Al looks at her curiously when she says what they could have become, but slowly nods.
Good.
Tom will. I would like to interject. You like stories, right?
She says, young man. No, well, yeah, you're still young looking.
Yeah.
Young man, if only it was possible for me to be sustained by stories instead of bread and water, I would be a very happy person. So yes, I do love stories. Do you have one for me?
Oh, I have several, but I'm not very good at speaking them. I actually have a book that I've been writing pretty much everything for the past 3-4 years that's happened to me.
Really?
Mm-hmm. May I go and get it?
Certainly. It's your book. Do whatever you want with it. She gives a bit of a smile.
After hearing this, Mariah's body slowly turning to look at Tom.
What?
She just blinks. She's just staring at you.
This is one of the few people in the world that I feel I can be safe in telling her what I have done, who I am.
She blinks again and is just staring at you. She doesn't say a word.
Okay.
Okay. Tom will go and get his journal.
Okie dokie. As you go and get the journal, does anyone else have anything to speak to Miss Tarn or Sir Thorpe or Delia about?
Oh.
Uncharacteristically, Al is very quiet and is just studying Aaron.
Patrick would almost immediately go off on like the Thorn Demon story.
Okay. All right. Excellent.
The before we got the map to
The Dragon Cave?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. She listens. She chuckles a little bit at that. No, not chuckles. It can be a daring story too, but she listens on with interest, right? By that time, Tom would be able to return with the journal. So what do you do with the journal there, Tom?
I will hand it to her and say, I will want it back, but we've done some many spectacular things.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, are you still going?
No, that's it.
Okay. She looks at you with a warm smile, and she tells you to hold out your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And she asks you, with your hand still raised, tell me, Tom, do you plan on dying tomorrow?
No.
She gives a nod, and she puts the journal back in your hand. Then why do you want to stop writing?
No,
she interrupts you, and she says, your experiences are your experiences. My experiences are mine. I wander and I write them down, and it can be gleaned, and if anything I do can help others, I'm happy for it. But your story is still being written. Don't give it up to a stranger that you only just met a few hours ago, whom you do not know if you'll ever see again. Write your own story, and when it's finished, share it with the people you care about, or share it with the world if you're as fortunate or unfortunate as I am. We need more people like you, those who are willing to write things down, to share their experiences, and to talk with others. There are people out there who do not want that. They want to silence. They want to censor. They don't care about your experiences. They want to keep them for themselves. They want to burn them. They want to pretend they didn't exist. But they do. Your stories are yours alone. They're not mine to take. Do you understand me?
Yeah, I think I do.
Good.
Al would quietly say, you could read her some of your stories, and then you wouldn't have to give them at all.
Tom's gonna give Al a kind of bewildered look, like, I was just gonna let her borrow it for a couple hours.
I think Al understands.
I don't know what's going on.
I think Al understands, but kind of in a diplomatic way, he's offering an alternative.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Suffice to say, if you guys are up for it, Aaron wouldn't mind telling you a bit of a story, since you did agree to an exchange of stories, and she is feeling rather sheepish not being able to live up on her part of the bargain.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells you a story. Well, it's not something that she saw herself, but something that she's very curious in. She mentions that there are tales far across the ocean to the east of here. It's called the Atlantic Ocean, for those of you who do not know. And across the Atlantic Ocean is this wonderful island, a huge island, an emerald island. And upon this island, apparently, it is enriched with energy, these ley lines that we are familiar with. But on the nexus points of these ley lines grow these beautiful, large trees, as high as the eye can nearly see, nearly blotting out the sun. Feet upon feet, perhaps even miles upwards, do they reach. Their leaves are bigger than an individual. Their branches larger than any robot that has ever been constructed by man. They call these trees millennium trees, from what I'm told, although I do not understand why. Perhaps they only grow and blossom once every millennia, or perhaps it was perhaps they lay dormant within the earth for that long. But there are tales of individuals living in harmony within these trees, and the trees themselves become rewarding and nurturing and healing the communities that surround about it. In fact, some of the tales I've heard that if you befriend the tree, they can do great acts of healing upon it. Even I've been told, with all seriousness, that they can bring an individual back from the dead. A full resurrection, a full restoration of body and spirit. One of these days, perhaps if I have other adventures in me, I would very much like to see one of these trees. But I do not know. Right now, we are on what I believe is probably the last adventure these old bones will take me on. And we are not going anywhere across the ocean. We instead are planning to go south. Far, far south. So we won't have to worry about this whole coalition nonsense for much longer. Hopefully.
Hey guys, out of character?
Mm-hmm.
So, we mentioned that we're going south, and they're probably going to be covering that direction.
Yeah.
Should we tell her about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good idea.
I think
How
so
about
too.
Yeah.
Sure. You want to do? You want Al to do, or?
What do your elf ears think?
Oh God. I think that Al would feel obligated, and I was already thinking something along the same lines. Obligated to tell her that just being around them is dangerous because while she may be wanted, we're actively being hunted. And
Well,
so I thought of at least
yeah.
letting her know that.
Yes. I was actually thinking of just kind of giving up the goat and just be like, this is the entire situation.
I also think, as careful as Al likes to be, this is probably one of the few people, given everything he's been through lately, that he would be willing to do that.
Yep. And I did say, Tom, that this is one of the few people that Tom is comfortable telling her who exactly he is.
Just so we're clear, if one of you guys do this, Mariah will turn to anyone who speaks and look at them, basically, not saying anything, just doing that.
And I guess that makes sense because we're giving away our secrets. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Al, honestly, would probably be okay with this because he really believes, like, what's she gonna do?
Yeah, she's kind of going in the exact direction that we kind of mentioned the whole we're going that way, so I'd rather not just,
Right. I agree.
give them her.
Well, I'll give you an option. Well, not really an option, but as you begin to tell her about the dangers of the South without going into any specifics as to why, Sir Thorpe would correct and say, South is our general direction. We're actually headed east right now to Ipshaming. We're going to be requisitioning some vehicles set aside for Miss Tarn, and there we'll be skirting to the far east of the known coalition states and heading down south to a place that used to be known as the Mexican Empire. We plan to be as far away from Chi-Town as we can. We are not going south from this location. Goodness knows, that would be disastrous.
Al says that could be slightly more dangerous. Look, we are...
going
east.
west to Ipshaming.
West. Oh, west. Okay.
West to Ipshaming.
Okay.
Oh, Inferno, they're going Ipshaming.
Like I was sitting there going, "Don't worry."
This is worse.
This way. It's in Ipshaming. That's West Inferno.
Not east.
I don't know my east and my fucking west, guys. I'm in trouble.
Fine.
All right. Anyway.
I, as a player, was like, okay, they're not going south. Good, we're going east. Oh no.
Oh, fuck.
Aaron, no. All right. Anyway.
Okay, then I guess at the moment, Al would probably still, and out of character, Al would still probably warn her before they leave or before too long. But at the moment, he's really quiet. He's just thinking about a lot of stuff.
Fine.
So.
That's fine. Now, I'll still allow because we haven't talked a whole lot. Okay, thank you, whoever is fucking doing this. Thank you. All right, great. Thanks. All right. Anywho,
Criana?
it's fucking Criana. I just know it is. Fucking troll. Anyway, god damn you. Anyway, get that penis out of here.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
We're professionals, we are.
I can't believe it. Get that penis out of here.
Oh no.
Just blame it on Tiny Wrath.
Anyway.
Sorry. Continue, please.
All right. Anyway, well, at least I knew what direction it was pointed. So we're north. Anyway.
North.
Yeah.
Jeez.